Well, howdy, 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 everybody. Teresa here. It is February 27th, 2022. I wanted to say 16. I don't know why. It is Sunday afternoon at 2:36 on this rainy day. It's rainy out. It's 44 degrees. So one of those good days to stay home. Brad's going to throw in a mess of chili in the crock pot because he's got some other stuff to be doing today. Trying to teach him the wonders of the crock pot. Now, I always spray that before I put stuff in it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But, so he's going to be doing that. I want to go in and paint for a while. If I don't get to any other time during the week, I commit myself to Sunday. I know. Sunday, I'm going to go in and paint for a while. Broke another loom. I broke another peg off a different loom last night. It was this next size up from my beloved purple one. Same set. So I ended up breaking down last night. I hated to have to do it. I went ahead because Brad's not sure the peg that he drilled out and put the wooden dowel. He's not sure if that's going to hold or not anyway. So I went ahead and ordered the set. So $42 with tax and everything. But what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? So, I was really, Brad knew. He was sitting there talking to me. We were sitting on the bed and he was watching me. I was looming and stuff, and all of a sudden, I don't know what made you know I did it.
I heard the snap.
Oh, you did? Yeah. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? It's not anything I'm doing. I'm not doing anything different that I haven't done forever, so. Ended up frogging that because I had managed to put that hat, the brim and everything back on, even though it was the next size up, and so I just kind of had to space out some of the stitching, and I was going to have to go back in and kind of mess with that anyway, but I had it back on there. I was starting to, form more of the hat walls, as I call them. Yeah, so I ended up frogging the whole thing, unwrapping it, winding it back into a ball. But I have another one going right now on the side down from that purple beloved one. It's not in the set, but so yeah, I'm working on that. Got my bean over here on my lap. Well, she's on my side. We've been going over next week's schedules. When you have a lot of schedules, I'm sure you guys are this way too. You have to both have them in your phone, because I was putting everything in a ledger or planner. Thank you.
No
I'm like, it's not a schedule or it's not a ledger, it's a planner. But I don't walk around with my planner. So that's kind of a problem when you're staying at a doctor's office. So put them in on our calendar on our phone and make sure we have the same one. So he's got a schedule tomorrow after his physical therapy assessment. Then they're going to be scheduling the appointment. So we have to make sure that we don't have some confliction, because I do have a doctor's appointment this coming week. And then the week after that, I'm going to go get my North Carolina driver's license. I almost was tempted not to get it because we were kind of talking about back and forth about maybe moving back to Florida. But I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I don't know if we could afford to move back to Florida or not. It has its good things. It has its withdrawals, pros and cons, any place. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do it. I'm feeling gutsy on some things, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Speaking of feeling gutsy on some things, I just told Brad, but I ordered a piercing kit. I know Leanne's going, because to get my nose pierced is $30 to $45, depending on where you go, right? Well, and I don't know how clean these people are. I don't know what they just did before I walked in the door. Now they're wearing masks, but still, I kind of worry about that. And I don't know. It's just, I would rather do my own. Because then if I F it up, I know that I F'd it up. It's not that I don't have some knowledge on this stuff. I do. Even though I chose not to do like the tongue piercing and stuff, I do. So, I mean, you just need a hollow gauge needle, a 14 or a 16. I found a kit that was like $15. It was for the gloves, the alcohol swabs, the hollow gauge needles, all the jewelry, because I want to do my nose and my eyebrow. So I can do those and, you know, in the comfort of my own home, having it as clean as I can be. And so I'm going to do it. I'll probably video it, perhaps, while I do it, if you guys want it. So, yes, here I am, 57, almost 58 years of age, going through my second adolescence, evidently, or midlife crisis, we haven't decided which, and want to get things pierced from the neck up. Nothing below. God love you if that's your thing. It ain't mine, no. That is not my thing. You know, the neck up is just fine, but not for me. You know, I like how it looks when somebody pierces their their ends on their chest. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say anymore with YouTube verbiage. So you know, but you know, I like how it looks. I think it looks pretty cool, depending on the jewelry, body jewelry in there. But I'm not gonna have it done or other body parts, just not me. I'd like to get some more tattoos, but those are so darn expensive. You know. And yes, I thought about doing those myself too, but dang, you mess that up, it's not just gonna heal. Yeah. You know. So I'm not gonna heal and you can't just redo it. So
yeah, there's no eraser for that.
Yeah. So I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos of people piercing their eyebrows and their nose. I'm not gonna do my septum right now. I don't think I probably will. And then I didn't order it for right now, but I did. There is a whole jewelry kit, which is the clear postings, the plastic, in case like you have to go somewhere nice. I can't see where we would have to, but that I couldn't wear my face jewelry. But if you're going to have a medical procedure done, you can't wear any metal. That's a good option. So, you know, I might pierce up on my ears some more later on. I don't know. For now, I'm just gonna leave this be. You know. But yeah, everything that came with the kit is surgical still, of course. So, you know, biggest thing on the ear piercing is you got to make sure that you don't get it if you have long hair like I do, that you don't get it wrapped around the post or anything. So, you know, it's a thing. With me, any amount of money I spend, then like I wanted to go get my hair trimmed. Now I won't because I bought the uh, piercing kit, and I did buy a set of earrings that's coming. It's just the diamond looking studs. I bought two sets actually. Um, but so I like to wear that normally for my everyday jewelry. So I don't normally buy that kind of stuff, but you know, with me there's got to be a balancing. If I wanting to get my hair cut, then I'm not going to buy any earring studs or a piercing kit. I can't do it all, or else you just have a big deficit. Never cool. So, and you want to make sure you have enough money for all your prescriptions. We're gonna need more gas money because I'm gonna have to drive him. He's not allowed to drive yet, but I'm gonna have to drive him, you know, 3 times a week. But you know, right now I'm looking at my hair, and I know you guys probably think I curled my hair. I have not. I don't do anything to my hair besides color it. I don't even blow dry it. So this is just what it will do. Especially if it's up like in a ponytail or something all day or a bun, then it'll just do this. So I don't want you guys to think I'm being fancy or anything. But I would like to wear more makeup just because it makes me feel better. I probably would wear my bra more often, frankly, if it didn't hurt so much to put it on. And it takes Brad helping me to put that on because of the arm thing. But I do think that's gonna get better. Brad is walking so well still. He gets up and down so much easier, and it's tomorrow will be 2 weeks, so it's amazing. And then with physical therapy and the stuff he's doing, he's got some goals. He got some goals. He wants to do some mountain biking. You know, he loves to ride a bike. He wants to do some fishing. He wants to do some hiking, I think. Is that what you want to do?
More so biking than hiking.
Biking. And I mean, there's just a lot of stuff he'd like to get out and do. We were talking about things that we both want to do. And one of the things that's important, and one of the new things we're working on within our marriage, is to not agree with the other person just to make them happy. You have to still be your own person. Because if you just keep agreeing with that person all the time to make them happy, pretty soon you become bitter and mad. And that's happened to both of us at different points times in our marriage. And you gotta, if you're not gonna be yourself at this age in our life, you're never going to be. And I'm secure knowing that he loves me, and I think vice versa. But we need to be our own people and know that that person, even if they don't agree with what you're doing, that's okay. They still love you. He doesn't have to be a clone of me, and I don't have to be a clone of him. He never wants to go into a yarn shop with me. He never does. He never going to. I never asked him to. Because I know he would be so bored. He would just be like, can I have some of this yarn? Can I crawl on this shelf and take a nap? Or, you know, I don't want him to be one of those men that are just in agony, sitting there. Yes, this is why I retired. This is so much fun. I mean, an occasional quick, let me dash in this store and get a skein of yarn. Okay, I'll sit outside here. He probably would say, okay, well, I'm going to go get me whatever to drink and I'll be back here. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, well, could you grab me da-da-da-da too then? Or, but not to go in and pet the yarn.
Sweetie.
Yes?
Isn't, there's a hobby store, isn't there a craft store up there by,
Harbor Freight?
Harbor Freight?
Michael's?
Okay.
Or no, it's Joanne's.
Okay.
It's Joanne's. So I was telling you the other day when you went to Harbor Freight, one of the days I was going to stop in that Joanne.
Yeah.
I know normally where they keep all their markdown stuff, since I worked at a Joanne. Now it might have changed because it's been a good while since I did that. But yeah, it's important not to be where you're just doing everything the other person likes, because what happens, and what happened with me, is then you look one day and you're like, who am I? I'd always been somebody's wife, somebody's mother, somebody's uh, grandmother, somebody's sister-in-law. I'd never just been me. I was always afraid just to be me because I was afraid I wouldn't be liked to be just me. I'm just an old-fashioned country woman. Old-fashioned in some respects not old-fashioned at all. I can guarantee you my grandmother didn't want to put holes in her face. She didn't even have pierced ears.
Oh, she didn't?
No.
Oh, I thought she did.
No, she always had clip-on.
Oh, I did not realize
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Man, them things hurt. I used to play with her clip-on earrings as a kid. My mother had some too. Them things hurt. But, in some respects, my grandmother wasn't real conventional either on some of her things. Maybe that's where I got it from. My grandmother very much believed in being herself, but the sad thing is she believed in being herself at the expense of everybody else at times, that you had to agree with everything that she wanted. And you can't do that.
No.
I can be me, and Brad doesn't have to agree with it, but that doesn't mean he has to march to the same drummer. It's just like Brad can say, I'm going to go out riding my bike, and I'll be like, okay, go have fun, because he doesn't have to sit at home and like, okay, she wants to paint today. I better sit here and twiddle my thumbs for 6 hours. No, I want him to go have fun. We only get this one life, guys. We keep remembering this. We get this one life. Yes, you have to do things to to better your family if you can, but you have to also make yourself happy. Because at the end of your life, you don't want to have just this bag full of regrets. Nobody ever said they wish they worked longer. Nobody ever said they wish they worked harder. They usually say, I wish I'd spent more time with whoever they loved. Or they wish they would have gotten to do whatever was on their bucket list. Now, I don't think that most people ever get to do everything on their bucket list. I think that's why a lot of times a bucket list is so extensive, too. But you want to have some memories of things that you always wanted to do that you finally got to do. Like the day that I get to go to Niagara Falls is going to be just something else. I mean, I can't wait. That's going to be just just wonderful, you know. So that's just a little thing that we work on. Your marriage is always changing. It's always evolving. You can go through your rough patches and your good patches, and it's going to keep going like that. And you kind of find things that hey, this might have worked 20 years ago, but it doesn't work now. 20 years ago, you're lost in raising your kids. You're shuffling those schedules. The kids' schedule for school and their activities is pretty rigid, unless it's school break, Christmas break or whatever. Then you have whatever shift your husband's working. If you're working too, then family stuff. I mean, it's a lot. Then all of a sudden your life slows down massively and you're like, what now? And then you're like, okay, well, maybe now it's time for me to work on me, work on my bucket list, things I want to do, ways I want to feel, who do I want to actually be? Because if you're like me and you got married almost right out of high school and you hear your husband dropping stuff on the stove and you're not even looking because, again, he can do whatever he wants out there. But I got married literally right out of high school, not to brag. This was first marriage. I was married 5 years too long. The good thing that came out of that was the children, the girls. And then Brad legally adopted them. But I got married. I graduated in May of 1982. I got married in August of 1982, and no, it wasn't a have-to marriage. I didn't have my daughter until October of 1983. So if you do the math, no, it wasn't anything I had to do. It was just basically I was running away from home into a bigger pot of boiling poo. And,
That's a good way to phrase it.
well, you're in one burning flame into a hotter burning flame. Yeah. And it's like,
Yeah.
But, and then I met Brad. I think I'd only been divorced just about a little bit. And yeah, we met at the grocery store. You guys all know that story. But you're always working on it. And Brad and I have been married, for those of you that don't know, 33 years ongoing. We've been together now for 34. So, but it's had its ups and downs. A few times we thought we were calling it quits. And then, when you really think about it and really think about that person not being in your life at all, because they're basically your very best friend in the whole world. I mean, you live with them, everything is tied up with them. Every memory I have of every event usually has Brad tied to it. So that would be a hard thing. I've been with him longer than I've been with anybody, including even growing up. So, I can't imagine letting anybody else make my end of life choices. I can't at all.
That's where I feel too.
I wouldn't trust anybody else to.
No.
Nobody else knows my medical history, any of that. So, and we love each other. Neither one of us are easy people to live with. I'll tell you that. We have two people that come from very dysfunctional homes, and they get together, and you don't work on the trauma of the dysfunction for a very long time. It can be really hard. You know, you can be good for each other in that respect, and you can be bad for each other in that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're kind of like we both had problems with eating, with overeating and stuff. So, we would love each other with food, and we're both really good cooks. That was a hard one to get used to. Not, oh, Brad had a bad day at work, let me cook him, whatever his favorite cookie was or his favorite meal or whatever. And I'll still do that to some regard, but it's reduced sugar, of course, and not that often. And, we've just learned to eat a lot, cook and eat a lot healthier. But, you know, I'm just saying what works for us. Like I said, when you have two people come from two very dysfunctional families, and the trauma and the triggers and the scars of that, we're just now talking about some things that had gone on in our childhood that the other person doesn't know, never knew. And that those that will, I'm the only person that knows his, and he's the only person that knows mine. And I think that's the way it should be. Even though uh, I've had counseling and stuff numerous times, um, stuff like that is not easy to open up about, and I'm just not comfortable with it. So, um, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit of what we work on. It's always changing. Don't think, oh, well, we've been married 25 years. We don't have to work on anything anymore. Oh, yeah, you do, because we're always, as people, changing. If we weren't, you look in the mirror and we still have that 20-year-old face. Things would still be perky instead of sagging. I always say them baggy, saggy, and dragging. But that's what I plan on doing today, is doing some loom knitting. I'm going to do some painting, kind of reset for the upcoming week, because that's going to be a little busier. Brad's going to go back to working more in the blue room. I'll probably pop my head in there. I got to kind of set my schedule now. Or I'm waiting until he gets his schedule for physical therapy, because I'll pop my head in there. There's a few things I want to look at in that bedroom of what my area is going to be. And I go back and forth all the time on whether or not I'm putting my art studio back there or I'm leaving it where it is. I still don't know. I'll probably end up leaving it where it is, simply because I like being able to see the paintings all the time, because then I think about what I want to do next to them. So it's a little bit easier there. Go ahead.
The only thing about that is I've seen how you react when you have a painting that you absolutely hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can always turn it where it's facing the wall.
That is a good point.
I've been known to do that before.
I know.
If I really hate a painting, I'll just shove it, turn it the other way and shove it aside, and then I'll look at it in 6 months. I've had paintings literally that have sat there for 3 years, and then all of a sudden I'll look at it and I'll know how to finish it. It happens. Yeah. It happens. So. Yeah. Are you in less pain now?
I am.
Good. Yeah. He's in less pain. He's going around. He's walking around really well. So. I don't really have anything else. I don't know. Just kind of contemplating a lot of stuff. Kind of in a good spot. Each time you stand up for yourself on something, initially it's not easy. You're going to get a backlash. of course. But it sure feels good to know that you stood up for yourself. Kind of a healing thing, don't you think?
It is.
Kind of a healing thing. I've even said to my inner child over maybe a trauma from childhood, you're safe, you're protected, it'll never happen again. You say that to the little girl inside you. You're safe. It's okay. You did nothing wrong. It'll never happen to you again. It's almost like you're soothing that child deep down inside you that was so afraid of that or so traumatized, and you can kind of release it. Or I like the Lincoln letter effect of that you write letters to whoever, and then in olden days, of course it was done on paper, and then he would burn it or he would tear it up. He would never give it to that person. And you can do that easily with on your computer and then just delete it. Sometimes I've even sat there and deleted it line by line, and there's something very therapeutic about that. And you do feel much better that you got to just tell that person everything you wanted to tell them, even though in reality you haven't said anything to them. There's no conflict or anything, but it's kind of a cleansing and freeing thing. So, whatever works for you. Burning a letter feels good too. I've done that before when I have the printer hooked up better and stuff that I'll print out the letter and burn it. It works. You can do that for somebody who maybe attacked you, somebody who deeply hurt you, an ongoing feud that maybe you just want to set at rest. It helps. So, do you have anything to say?
Nope.
Mr. Spice-O-Matic?
I'm filling the spices as I go.
Can you make sure you move those bananas so they don't get...
Yeah.
Bananas don't like the heat.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. So, I'll be glad when the produce starts coming in more. I know it's only February. I'm eager for springtime with the strawberries. I love that. I remember one year, it was when we lived in Wyoming still, Sam's Club had strawberries. Remember, they were great big flats of them,
Yeah.
super cheap.
Yeah.
And those were the best strawberries ever. I couldn't keep them in the house.
Yeah.
And the next day I'd have to go out and get more.
Yep.
So.
Oh, yeah. I love their, when they had those big things of strawberries, like you said.
Yeah.
And then, watermelons.
Yeah.
There was one year that no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't find a bad watermelon.
Oh, I know. That's been a long time.
Yeah.
Man, I remember that. Now it's hard to get a watermelon that tastes like anything.
Yeah.
And tomatoes, too, that taste like anything, please. Brad cut up a tomato. We ordered pizza yesterday, and I got the chicken Alfredo in the bread bowl from Domino's, which is excellent if you're into that. And then what we do is we add our own veggies at home. So I had put black olives and mushrooms, and then I'd only eaten half of it, so I had the other half for dinner last night. And Brad cut up a tomato and threw it on top of there, and that tomato didn't have much taste at all. But I'll be just glad when there's more fresh produce. I get excited about spring because here you do get a real spring, so that's nice. That's one. I'm looking at more of the positive things about living here. Is I do like the seasonal change a lot. I like us experiencing a real spring because in Florida it's like you really don't, and you do in a very mild degree, but in cold west states like Wyoming, you might get one day.
Right.
And it still may snow. I don't remember. There were very few years you could actually have an Easter egg hunt on that day because usually it was frozen. It snowed. So I do really like experiencing um, uh, the weather changes, and there's a lot of history. You just have to look for it, and it's like the old mills that used to work and stuff that have the wonderful water uh, uh, works going in there and stuff like the Tar River. There's one called down there in Spring Hope, which is not too far away. It's by Zebulon and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's past Nashville.
Okay.
And it's called the Webb's Mill, and it's on the Tar River.
Oh,
I
okay.
seen pictures of it on the internet, and oh man, does that look beautiful! And they've got some old historic buildings in that town and stuff.
Oh, cool.
It's a real small town. I've been kind of looking at places that Brad and I could just take drives to, spend maybe a day, and enjoy it, and then come back. Because I really do want to get out more. Once the weather is a little bit nicer and stuff, and it's springtime, I really want to get out, and I want to get some pictures to work from. There's like some of those old mills with the big turning wheels and
Yeah.
stuff. I'd love to do some paintings of that
Yeah.
for sure. And that's what really inspires me is if I've been places and I can watch it. I like to sit and just watch water because I love to paint water, but to capture the movement of a water is rather tricky. So, been just kind of looking at shorter little trips that we could take and enjoy and have it not cost like a fortune. So, you know?
Yep. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, yeah,
Look at all the bubbles.
I know. Seeing all the sites that
Did you see I filled up the hand soap there?
I did. I saw that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
some people use it to wash their hands.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I forgot what I was going to say. But, oh, yeah, you know, it's, you know, one of my complaints about Wyoming is when, can I use this to spot treat the carpet?
Yeah.
Okay. One of my complaints about living in Wyoming is you and I had lived there so long, and especially with me, is I had traveled. I pretty much have been on every road in Natrona County, and I know I made a few roads in Natrona County that weren't there. But you know, I one of my favorite things to do when I was young is I would gas up my truck and just pick a road and start following it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I saw some very very incredible sights um, out there, and I saw things that I didn't realize happened. You know, I mean, one of the big things I remember is you get out on the flats and you look across it and it just looks like nothingness. And then you start traveling across the flats and there's all these gullies and washes and you know, some of these
Sinkholes.
Sinkholes.
A lot more sinkholes than you think there are.
Yeah. I remember that one that was one year we saw it and it was full of rattlesnakes. There was probably.
You did?
Carrie and I did. Yeah.
Yeah. How many? Tell them about how many rattlesnakes you think there were.
There were hundreds. You know,
That's
and
scary.
this sinkhole was probably 10 to 15 feet deep.
Mm.
And Carrie was walking around along the edge of it, and the edge gave way. And I reached out and grabbed his coat and pulled him back up.
He would have been dead man.
Oh, yeah.
He'd gone in there, yeah, he would have been dead man.
Yeah. You know, and then, like I said, some of the deep canyons that until you're there, you don't see that they're there. And I saw some of the biggest mule deer bucks jump out of those. That it's incredible.
If you guys are ever curious, type in Hell's Half Acre.
Yeah.
It's a real place.
Yeah.
And they used it to film
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
But it's a real place, and it's natural, and it's something else.
Yeah.
And I mean, but yeah, you'll be amazed when you really know what you're looking for. A number of sinkholes and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Florida and stuff has a lot, but Wyoming does too. I mean, you know.
Surprisingly, you know.
And you'll think it's something very barren until you really get out on the prairie, and there is vegetation stuff. There's a lot of Indian paintbrush. There's a lot of sagebrush. There's a lot of
lodgepole pines.
Yeah.
A lot of quaking aspens.
Yeah.
And the quaking aspens, I love those in the fall because they start turning yellow, and you know, you see all the green of the pines surrounding them, and then this big huge patch of just bright
But
yellow.
I've never seen as many different colors of leaf turning as here.
Yeah.
And I know further up the coast, it's just even more stunning.
Yeah.
But I am amazed because we had such a nice fall last year, and it was lasted so long. We really can't complain about winter. And just the beautiful colors, just it was just amazing. And for an artist, it's just like,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, I'll never forget that as long as I live. And that's just what we saw around here. We weren't out, you know, up in a mountain or anything. I really want us to take a train ride. They didn't have it this year, but it's a Christmas train ride up in the Smoky Mountains. And I guess they have different lights at different places that they go
Cool.
through this. And, like I said, they canceled this last year, but I would really like to do that. I'd like to take some day train rides with Brad. That would be fun. Man, that Amtrak goes flying through here.
Oh yeah, that's scary.
It goes right not too far from us, so
Yeah.
we hear the trains at night and stuff. We don't mind them. I already told you guys about that, but yeah, we want to get out more. We want to see more. We can do better. We can do better. I'm determined I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to get stronger. I have not had a UTI since my last hospital admission, which is fabulous. My leg infections come and go, but they're doing well now. I mean, so, watch out, the cat's knocking everything over in sight. But, yeah, my health's going to get better. Brad's health is going to get better. We're going to get more mobile. We're going to start enjoying life more, doing more of the things we want to do. And this has been such a hard period with Brad being so disabled. And he's still disabled. His back, there's really not anything they can do for it. So far, we've seen, you know. But so he's always going to be disabled. That that happens. But at least he'll be able to walk better and not be in as much pain. How your thigh still hurt, or yeah, it's getting used to.
And I'm going to have to talk. That's something I'm definitely going to have to talk to the doctor about. Because it's I don't
Why
know
do you
why.
have the fishing pole down there by your chair?
What?
Why do you have that fishing pole down there by your chair?
Because I just found it a little bit ago.
Where?
In the back of the Jeep.
And then it lived by your chair. Why?
It's only been here for a few days.
But still, why?
Because I wanted to pull the line off.
Oh, okay. It's kind of an odd thing. It's like, you're dusting the front room and stuff, and I reached down because something got knocked over, and I got stuck by one of his hooks on his fishing pole. I'm like, ow. That's one thing we do love doing together is fishing. Now, there's not always am I going to want to go. I'm kind of a baby about I don't want to go when it's cold out. I really don't like the cold on anything anymore.
Yeah,
Sometimes poor Brad is dying in the house because I've got the heat turned up. Because like yesterday, I could not get warm for anything, and then my shoulder really hurts. I end up laying down, taking a bit of a nap. Because I just didn't feel real hot.
Yeah,
Wasn't anything massively wrong, but
no, and I tried to wake you up after an hour, and
really,
yeah,
once in a while I'll crash and burn.
Yeah,
and that was it. And then I was up till I saw the sunrise again. What happens? I stay up too late, and so I'm overtired. And then you reach that bridge of where your butt should have been asleep an hour ago, and now it's like no. Now I'm wired tired. Okay, and when you're wired tired, you're too tired to really do anything, but you're too wired to sleep. So it's like,
yep.
Well,
that's I know. You've always had a problem with
sleep.
getting so many times you don't let yourself go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
I about fell off the bed the other night, though. You know how you always were so panicky that I was going to fall off the bed, and I was sitting up, and I caught myself. I had fallen asleep, and I was starting to go down.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not too far down, but still, I probably would have mucked my face up.
That would have been a bad thing.
But, that's all we really got. I just thought I would visit with you guys a little bit and tell you a little bit about, you know, you can always make a marriage better if two people are willing. So, don't give up. Don't file the big D yet.
Yeah.
Because, do you really, you got to look at it this way. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life alone? Now, if this person isn't just such a horrible person that there's no way, and we all been there, we all have at least an ex we can't believe we ever even smiled at, much less anything else.
Yeah.
And, this is Brad's first marriage, but, he had other girlfriends and stuff and almost girlfriends. And, once he wondered why he ever even asked him out for lunch or anything, but,
Well, I know I told you several times about that one girl that I went out with. And
he's never going to let this one go.
yeah, that the only reason we were together for so long is because...
Oh, the dog.
The dog.
He loved the dog. So he wasn't really dating her. He was dating the dog, I think.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way.
No.
He'd go get the dog, take fishing and stuff. He loved spending time with the dog.
Yeah. It was just a cool dog.
I think after a while she caught on that you were really interested in the dog and not her.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought you were going to talk about the girl when you were in college that wanted to go to lunch with you.
Oh,
and you
no.
said you only had so much money. And she's, oh, okay. Well, they went to McDonald's and she made sure she ordered everything she wanted. And I think he had enough left to get a Coke.
Yeah. Yep.
Who does that? She did.
Yeah.
She's probably on marriage number 6 or 7
Yeah.
now. So,
Yep.
So, anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you're having a good day. And do something for yourself. Do something for somebody else. And I hope you have a good day. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Say bye, Brad.
Bye, Brad.
Bye, guys.